And God made a way. That's Travis Green.
Yeah.
You should have heard Mama B's dulcet tones as she was singing along.
This is one of the tunes.
This is an announcement to all church choirs in the country. If you receive an application from this lady, please check her background carefully before you accept her into your choir.
I think the last person you want in your choir is me.
Yes, church windows are very expensive.
You don't need me.
We can't crack them.
But it's the kind of music that you play to yourself. What you may be driving and sing out
to
loud.
yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I do.
Right.
I am an expert in that.
You see,
Yeah.
You're like me, who likes dancing in the chair, not on the floor.
Oh, I thought you were going to say singing in the shower and dancing in the chairs.
You know, you just wriggle yourself, but really doing nothing. But it's your birthday. Dr. Samuel Chubisi Ankra, you're the president of the Heritage Christian College. You're based in Amasaman, also a preacher in Sawam Road Church of Christ, and it's from Derek Ekosam and the Sam family of Sawam Road Church of Christ. You're saying, God bless you, Daddy. It's also your birthday today. You're the chairman of the multimedia group, but you're also the boss of Talo Oil. From all of us here at Multimedia, we say happy birthday to you, Kwikwawochi.
Yes, indeed. He's a very important part of our organization, isn't he? Board chair.
Absolutely.
Great guy as well. Very nice and very insightful gentleman. Every opportunity I get, I have a conversation with him. I learn something new. Happy birthday, Mr. Kuku Awoche. Okay then, headlines.
Yeah. Well, let me start with the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Akufo-Addo admits in the US there's difficulty, but all right. Today is World Pharmacist Day. Star Times Wahala, government versus Giba. 11 more banks likely to go down. Bank of Ghana. Back page, Alfredo Bing was sacked because he tried cleaning the mess at Boss. MPP Sapenyo marking.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he really want to say that?
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
So the man wanted to clean the mess at Boss, so the president sacked him.
Yeah. So I mean the president.
No, he didn't say it, he didn't put it the way that you put it.
No, but who sacked
You're
him?
trying to you're doing an analysis of the statement, correct?
You think so? Okay, let's walk
Because
through.
that's not what he said.
Okay, the headline says that
I listened to him.
Sacked, he was sacked because he tried to clean up the mess. That's what the headline said. So I haven't heard him.
Okay.
I'm just responding to the headline.
I listened to him.
I'm responding to the headline. What else have you got?
I thought okay, we're only
we
reading headlines.
We can talk about it later.
All right, so we have the Daily Guide newspaper. Bawumia mocks NDC for renting fake spare parts dealers. Well, you have the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and the Northern Regional Minister, Said Salifo, after yesterday's session. He was at the National Policy Summit. Yoko battles ex-boss, Kingsley Kwame Wadako. City to stabilize soon. Those stories you can find on pages 3 and 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper. But we have tanker drivers, call of strike is also on the front page. On the back page, we have a couple of sports stories for you.
Right, okay. The Ghanaian Times has these. Scrap taxes on fuel to minimize impact of rising fuel prices. That's the TUC's call. There's a picture of Dr. Yauban of the TUC on the front page. Also, striking tanker drivers and police clash in Tema. 3 arrested, 3 injured. That's a page 15 story. Fixed tax stamp or face the law, the GRA declares. And government seeks parliament approval for $235 million loan for development project. That is one of the reasons why they've been called back on emergency sitting. Cataract is leading cause of blindness in Ghana according to the Ghana Health Service, and SNIC launches customer service mobile clinic. Business and Financial Times has these. Bank of Ghana cautiously stays policy rate at 17%. Banks must pay more taxes to reduce risky borrowings, stop laziness among some players. That's what Dr. Sajid Chaudhry a finance analyst is saying. Also, aging farmers threatening cocoa industry, according to the CEO of Cocoa Board. Canned goods and others have been barred from warehousing. That's a story by Patrick Painsel, which is in full on page 3. And there's a feature in the Business and Financial Times today, China-Africa Economic Cooperation Trends in the FOCAC era. On the back page, Okonfo-Anokye Rural Bank records 52% growth in profit. Well, some are doing well. And Game Store pitches camp at West Hills Mall next month. There you go.
Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Graphic. Let's legislate compulsory education. President tells Ghanaians in US. On the front page, there's a picture of President Akufo-Addo interacting with Reverend Nana Opoku, the Vice President of the Ghanaian Ministers Fellowship in New York, during his meeting with some members of the Ghanaian community there. You'll be arrested. GRA warns businesses which fail to affix tax stamps. Governments won't be forced to make sloppy economic decisions. That's by the Vice President. Center spread of the paper, tanker drivers call off intended strike. And then on the back page of the Graphic, calm returns to Abro Dunkwao after youth went on rampage. But you'd see the distraction on the back of the paper.
Maybe I'll do the Finder headlines quickly before we settle for details. Front page, banner headline, fuel, scraps some taxes and absorb some exchange rate losses too, TUC proposes. Also, we're in difficult times, but not in crisis. That's the president speaking in the United States. Cedi competitive, strong amongst peers. That's the Bank of Ghana. Yo. Tanker drivers call off strike after clashing with police. And GRA to undertake tax stamp enforcement and compliance exercise. That's it for the Finder newspaper.
All right, the Daily Statesman newspaper front page. First Lady dismisses Star Times partnership. No fuel shortage, NPA assures. DTT to be managed as commercial entity, Communication Minister clarifies. That's what's on the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper this day.
Okay, all right. Well, so Dr. Addison says the CD is competitive and strong amongst his peers.
You sound like you doubt him.
No, it's just that it doesn't matter. And we've said this so many times. I don't know why they keep making the same point. When we interviewed the head of financial markets at Bank of Ghana, he said this.
Mr. Opata.
Yes. He said the same thing, and we asked him the same question. Why should we care what's happening in other countries? This is where we live. It doesn't matter that we're, doing better than Argentina or South Africa. Why are we not fixing our problem here? If things are not going well for Ghanaians, what can we do about that for Ghanaians? Telling me that there are hungrier people in Argentina doesn't make me less hungry. And then, of course, Dr. Baumia is saying that...
are people in Argentina less hungry?
More or less, I don't know. But their currency is not doing as well as ours
and then
in the face of the dollar.
We have to put people's living standards into perspective. The poorest person in America doesn't necessarily equate to the same poorest person in Ghana. Do you understand?
Well,
By their
depends.
standards.
Yeah, it depends.
But so when you say people don't, they don't have enough to eat based on their standards.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm not even talking about you, person.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm talking about the comparisons they keep making because Anyway.
And in any case, you see, the comparison doesn't move us to any end. It doesn't lead us to any result. If you say, oh yes, we're suffering, but others are suffering more, it doesn't ease our suffering. It doesn't,
Maybe the communication was not meant for persons like yourself. It was meant, addressing a particular audience. So in this case, it could be businesses. Sometimes you want to...
I own a business.
You want to tell... Oh, Charlie, this guy, don't worry.
Bobby wants to remove me from the Bank of Ghana's situation,
compare it to what is happening elsewhere, because of course we say this is we're not alone. We're not isolated. We're not standing alone.
So
there are businesses who need that kind of assurance. You know,
do they?
There are businesses that need that kind of assurance.
How does it help them?
There are investment opportunities that come into Ghana. So, you know, you might want to understand what's happening. That even though it's not going so well, we're not as bad as, you know, what am I even doing PR?
I don't understand. I don't understand, Mama B. Anyway, but Dr. Baumia is saying something interesting about fake spare parts dealers. He says the opposition, again, they are talking to the opposition. The opposition has employed fake spare parts dealers to, I don't know, complain, I guess.
Is it the opposition that went, or the media went to the spare parts dealer? I think we went to the spare part dealers first.
Yes. What should really concern you is that the vice president, the head of the economic management team, believes that certain spare parts dealers, whatever their problem is, they are fake. So will their problem ever get resolved? Does the vice president concern himself with solving fake problems? I doubt it. So if spare parts dealers have a problem, can they really expect it to be solved? Will the economic management team prioritize their problem if they have one? I'm just asking you. Let's move on.
I think one thing we do know is that there seem to be different fronts, or at least two fronts. One more pro-government in terms of what the communication is about the state of the economy for various sectors, and the other on how perhaps poorly the economy may be doing based on how the CD seem to be performing against the US dollar. And particularly for some of these sectional areas in the economy, they trade directly with the CD. The goods that they trade in, the commerce they're involved in, the mainstay by which they get their goods back into their shops as stock is by mopping up the CD they have, going to buy the dollar, and going to buy the stock to fill their shops. So they are in the best position to say, well, the vice president may be saying the truth or may not be saying the truth. And I don't think that sometimes when we're talking about what the ordinary Ghanaian feels, we should muddy it in the politics of the time. Because when we do that, then we're failing to realize what problems or difficulties, or perhaps the anxiety or trepidation that the ordinary citizen may be feeling.
You know, the angle that the graphic also picks, I mean, there's so much of comparison in the story. There's so much of NDC. It makes you want to believe like we have elections in December, but we don't. But we've come back to the same thing. So anytime somebody speaks, it's as if they are addressing the opposition NDC. But the country is not made up of opposition people.
Yeah,
we're citizens.
Yeah, it made me, yesterday I shared, when he was at the policy summit and he was talking, so I shared some posts on Facebook. And, well,
on the comparison, the
because
frequent mention of during the NDC.
For example, there was this particular phrase. He said the change Ghanaian voted for was no free SHS. It says what is incontrovertible is that without Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, there will be no free SHS, no restoration of teacher training allowances, no restoration of nursing training allowances, no Zongo Development Fund, no planting for food and jobs, no national ID cards, no digital address system, no paperless ports, no development authorities, no one district, one factory, no one village, one dam, no one district, one warehouse, no NAPCO, no NIBE. No, this is coming from the Communication Bureau of the Presidency, and I'm reading this for a fact because I was listening to some snipers of posts when he was at the policy summit.
So this event was what, policy summit?
Yes, the National Policy Summit.
He's listing
not
all their
NPP
policies.
No strong economic fundamentals, no rehabilitation of VALCO, no $2 billion innovative infrastructure financing arrangement with Sino Hydro.
Let's spend our time dealing with other matters in the papers. It's okay.
But I have one question.
It's okay.
He says without NDC, we wouldn't have these things. How does he know?
No, because there's no NDC.
Yeah, but how does he know that?
Because when NDC was there, these things were not available.
Yeah, but how do you know that they wouldn't have been done? Of course, I'm not saying that I have any faith in NDC's performance. We all saw what they did. So I'm not saying that I have any faith that they would have done this. But the point is, they are not here. They are not here. You are. So you can't tell me that I am, without, I wouldn't have these things. You can't tell me
so
that.
Can I
That's
read?
not what I'm interested
So there's a bit about this in the paper, attributed to the Minister of Information designate Kojo Nkrumah, who was explaining the reason for the events. Yeah, so. This, the National Policy Summit, which is a major flagship program of the Ministry of Information, was a public-private initiative with a UMB bank, and it was to engage with citizens and receive a feedback from them. So that's the platform we're talking about, the platform of comparison.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is what it's supposed to be, receiving feedback from citizens.
I see. Okay, well, I need to correct something. You know, we were asking about those fake spare parts dealers. There is some context to that matter. So apparently, Dr. Baumia indicated that there were some protests from a fake spare parts dealers association that he says the NDC formed. But then he says, thankfully, the real spare parts dealers association has rejected their claims and exposed them as fake spare parts dealers.
So the real spare part dealers, they are not complaining.
He says they actually thanked the government. Where is it? Yes.
All right, then that's a good thing. I mean, they sell the spare parts, so
they thanked the government for their
okay,
initiative.
then that's
Continued
fine.
on page 4. Where is it? Yeah. Speaking at the Fourth National, he said the government has abolished import duties. The real spare parts dealers who exposed the NDC's rented spare parts dealers thanked the government for helping their businesses.
Let's move on to other stories.
So yeah. So how about the spare parts dealers that our journalists spoke to? Are they real or fake? Because they were not thanking anybody.
I think Nancy, I'm afraid that is well.
Yeah. Were they the real spare parts dealers
maybe
or
they
the fake ones?
Kokumpe, they had relocated there that morning.
So are they real or fake?
Well, they are operating there.
Yo.
You can ask Yoko.
Yeah. Okay. Right then. I think that's it for me. What have you guys got?
Yeah, and we have I have this story by the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He's in the US currently, and the story is indicating that he seems to acknowledge that the economy seems to have certain difficulties, so to speak.
That story was filed by Evans Mensah on the Midday News on radio yesterday.
We have an insert. If we can just recall that insert for you. Fred, are we ready with this?
That's not what I have said.
You say Evans.
Is that what you have said? Is that what you're saying?
That what?
Oh, that's what you. That's what.
No. We have an insert.
Please,
Right.
is it a real insert or a fake
No,
insert?
an insert of the president. No, let's listen to him.
Related but totally unexpected events have occurred that have also put a lot of pressure on people at home. One has been the dramatic increase in crude oil prices that we've seen. The budget, last November's budget, budgeted for a $57 per barrel crude, is today at 78. So you can imagine the pressures that in itself has brought on the budget. That $20 increase in the crude oil prices, what it is doing to the budget. And it is taking place also at a time when the United States dollar has also strengthened considerably in the foreign exchange markets of the world. It has led to a significant, rapid depreciation of our CD, which the Bank of Ghana is now having to fight. It's not a crisis, but the difficulties that we're going through now are difficulties that the system will be able to accommodate. It has meant some difficulties in the lives of ordinary people in Ghana, but it is events that were out of our control, but which we have to find a way to accommodate. And we're going to be able to do so that we can get a more even keel in events at home. They're not matters on which we can be complacent. They're difficult situations, but difficult situations also require some degree of fortitude and firm action. And that is what we're trying to do at home.
Now, the reason why I want us to discuss this, it looks to me just in the same 12-hour period, we've had two divergent comments on the state of the economy. The vice president saying that everything is okay, and the president acknowledging that not everything is okay. And I believe the president has communicated better, and he will get a better buy-in from the citizenry than the vice president is doing. What the vice president needs to do is to rather say that we do acknowledge that there are difficulties, but these are the reasons why we have difficulty, and these are the things that
we're doing.
Yeah,
so that
because
we
the reason why the president may have said that is that perhaps he may have, one, himself seen, observed, acknowledged, and two, he may have been advised that people want to hear the things that matter to them, that they themselves have noticed. Now, what perhaps I have a certain difficulty with is, why is that the president didn't start this sort of communication when he was in Ghana? And he's gone to an audience that don't have a direct impact, or perhaps are not living the experiences of how the economy may be faring, or maybe reacting to the ordinary citizen of our country. Well, currently, I'm not saying that the Ghanaians out there are less Ghanaian than us, but I'm saying the economy they live in, he is saying that the economy of the US is doing better. He's in the US. So the Ghanaians in the US are experiencing better livelihoods than the Ghanaians obviously in Ghana.
Because they have dependence in Ghana.
I do understand. So they may have asked him a question.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be fair. This is the year 2018. So even if you go and stand on a rock in the middle of the sea and speak, your audience is global. So,
I do understand that.
So I certainly hope he didn't think he was speaking only to the Ghanaians in America. But here's, I think, perhaps the other side of the coin. I agree with you when you say that by conceding that we're having difficulties, the president will find himself more sympathetic ears than those who insist that everything is fine. Evans Mensah, who's the head of our politics desk here at JoyNews, will tell you that if you're a politician and you want to win people over when you are under pressure, the first thing you should do is concede something. Just concede something. Find something to admit to. It immediately softens the resistance. Then the second thing you do is ask for something. It's weird. The public, they prefer when a politician asks them for something rather than when a politician promises them something. Okay? So the president has done that. The next thing he says is that, look, this will require some fortitude. That means you have to tighten your belts. You have to, you know, what's it called?
You're preparing us for something.
That is proper political communication. Okay, and how do you argue with that? But the question again is the question Roland was asking. Where was this when this debate began weeks ago? When people started complaining, when the dollar started, nudging 5 cedis a couple of weeks ago. Where was this? Why were we rather hearing people telling us that, oh, we are better than the NDC? Why was that the message? Why?
Better late than never, if you think it came late.
Yes, it did come late. Yes. Yeah, well, there we are.
Okay, so you're through?
Yeah, I'm through.
Okay. I don't know, everything that I'm seeing here, I have heard it before. So let's do online. We will make time and do myjoyonline.com and also do the BBC. I think there's some interesting international stories that we can share. There's the Instagram guys walking out of Facebook, and they say they're going to explore something, creativity and curiosity. And there's also the judge who is being appointed to the Supreme Court in the US.
That's more, apparently. More accusers.
Yeah, there's one more.
Two now.
Two now, so there are 3.
No.
So
there's one more that has added added to doctor.
Over 35 years ago, there may have been some sexual misconducts, allegedly. Reason he should not be appointed.
But I want to ask.
They say he's not going anywhere. So we'll do myjoyonline.com.
He's occupied various offices in his career. Why is it that, and some of them have been elected? You know, sometimes in the US they vote for the judges at some sections of the judiciary.
So why are they coming out now?
Why are they coming out
when
now?
When you're appointed to the Supreme Court, it's a position for life.
Yes, but more importantly, I think yes, Mamavi is right. That is perhaps the biggest position he has ever been. Yes, but also these things happened decades ago. Okay, and this is the first time that he has come up on a national stage. So it may well be that if these things happen, we don't have evidence, but if they happened, then the victims may have suppressed the memories of them for a very long time until suddenly he's all over the news.
He's in your face.
Yes, he's all over the news. He's everywhere. Every time you switch on your TV, he's there.
But I want to ask,
You know, and
is it that they never they forgot his image, they forgot how he looked like, and all of a sudden saw him on CNN
I think that,
and Fox
I
and
think that you're not being
CNBC.
fair. You cannot ask that until you find
do you
yourself
think it's
in a similar...
easy
It's not.
to
it's never.
come out and
Never,
publicly
never
tell the
easy.
world that you have been
Yeah.
sexually
Yeah.
abused? Do you think it's easy?
Yeah. Let's quickly do myjoyonline.com. We
It's
would
not,
get to this issue when we do the BBC, but on myjoyonline.com, Communications Ministry, not trustworthy. Suleiman Abrahima, Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, saying that you can log on to myjoyonline.com and read the details. Let's move on quickly. SNET taps into mobile money to receive contributions. I didn't influence Star Times deal. First Lady denies allegations. Let's position Ghana to take advantage of the emerging cannabis markets. This debate,
It keeps going on.
exactly,
We should
has come
probably have
back.
it here one of these days.
We sure
And
will.
have the debate here, not the cannabis.
Eslo Uswe Kofo to be installed court development queen on court of Esiom. You guys know Esiom?
No,
Esiom is in the Eastern region.
no. I am not a citizen of Isum. So this installment
Double
will not
track
affect me.
surfaces at Love FM High School debate as OWAS defeats, is it course?
Konongo Dumase Senior High School. Yeah.
Okay. Medifem Hospital takes breast cancer screening to Damfa. That's my hospital. They're incredible.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
Ekufuado driving economy into a ditch with, is it binge borrowing? According to the minority.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's why they've recalled Parliament, you know, emergency
because
sitting
they're
to come and
passing a lot
approve
of-
loans. Yes, over $700 million.
Yeah.
Dollars.
Fuel price
of loans.
hikes, not what you promised. TUC, Beretzka, so TUC kind of like reminding government that this is not what you said. And I like the headline on myjoyonline.com. Check it out. Look at it. It comes with what the price is today when you hit the fuel pumps.
Yep.
So that's it. Hey, this one is high. It's gone up again. 5,180. I thought it was 5,120.
No, those,
Yes,
th-
but
those are initial one.
John Peter Mewu says you should be grateful for it.
We've had some.
This thing
reductions.
keeps going up like every day.
No.
No, but I haven't seen one
No, this
5,180
no,
and
this one
5,140.
this one was the initial
When
is
we
it
first
calibration
discussed
that
it
came
here.
in. The pricing, it's adjusted every 2 weeks, please. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 5,120. Okay, I want to say good morning to Mrs. Catherine Edubrenya of Safe Hands Clinic in Takrady. It was your birthday, a day before mine. Belated birthdays coming for me and your husband, Prince Charles. So Mrs. Catherine Edubrenya of Safe Hands Clinic in Takrady, a belated one to you. I hope that you had fun. Any other things that we're doing before we knock off, guys?
Well, I think there's a lot more coming up on the show. I wish we could have talked about that.
Yeah, please do. Real quick.
No, I wish we could have talked a bit more about the Supreme Court.
Oh, we didn't go to the
nominee.
BBC. That's the
Yes,
thing. Fred didn't go to the BBC.
Yeah, it's an interesting case, you know, because it's very different from how we here in Ghana approach the idea of sexual harassment and so forth. In fact, we dismiss it so much that the idea of someone bringing it up after 35 years is a shock to some Ghanaians. They wonder what's the fuss all about when you know he didn't rape you. So you know, and a lot
Yeah.
of the things that are sexual harassment, we do them as a matter of course here in this country.
Let's talk about it on Friday on the show.
Yeah,
What you guys
yeah.
say?
Yeah, I
we
think
can
so.
have a relationship
rape.
Friday.
Oh,
We'll talk about
No, sexual harassment.
Yeah.
And what constitutes it? You know, when
exactly.
someone comes
we
up
should
to you
have,
in the office and
we should
wants to
have
hug you.
Dinah Adiko on the show
friend.
with
Yeah,
us
and
whilst
you
we
do-
talk
and you
about
don't
it. I think it
feel
would
like
be great.
it's, you know,
So, Mrs. Dinah Adiko, if you're listening, I'm going to give you a call. We'll invite you on the show on Friday. But good morning to Dr. Asante, who is in California, in the USA. Good morning to you. Thank you for the lovely message yesterday, and to all who wished me a happy birthday. It looks like it's still my birthday because I'm still getting lots of messages. Lots of surprises as well. Different people sending me different things.
It's
so
a
thank
year-long
you.
celebration,
I am
right?
grateful. Yeah. We've got sports after this. Stay with us.